Welcome to Active Sports TV. You're now tuned in and rocking out with your host, Active Keyshawn. Brian Norman Jr. want to check your temperature. Is you really a hot boy? We shall see. You see it in the title, man. Keyshawn Davis. Is you ducking? Are we hearing the quacks in the back? Hopefully not, man. Hopefully not. I like Keyshawn, the young sensation. If you've been in the know of boxing, Keyshawn Davis, one of the top phenoms coming up, in this new era of boxing, has just recently decided that he's going to move up in weight class, moving up to the welterweight division at 147 pounds, putting Debo Dev on notice. That was the main reason for the move, letting boxing fans know that now that Debo Dev is in the division and he got something around his waist, a title that is the WBO, that belongs to him, and he's coming to come take it. But before all of this take place, I know you guys have been paying attention to the saga between Shakur Stevenson and Debo Dev, and Keyshawn is in the mix of all of this, and a lot of people got questions upon questions, like myself, as boxing fans. Like, even though we've seen Keyshawn Davis put on a display against Nair Outbright in his last showcase fight in his hometown, and then making the announcement that he's moving up to 147 pounds after only really fighting at 140 pounds, maybe twice, if I'm not mistaken. Please don't hold me to that. But only having 15 pro fights, one of them already being a no contest, 10 of those wins coming by the way of knockout. It doesn't scream this man can just leapfrog and jump the 147 division and become Debo Dev mandatory. See, I'm into the old school way of boxing, where unless you are a champion and preferably unified and undisputed, when you then declare that you're going to go up a weight class, that's the only way that you become the mandatory to the current champion in that weight class that you're entering. All of this, boxing, politics taking place. I'm starting to believe what Debo said, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of these champions can be put in the position that they don't quite deserve. I mean, even though I'm a fan of Keyshawn Davis, nonetheless, and I know, the kid got issues. He got issues. But putting all that aside, not putting him on blast yet, addressing the fact that I ain't seen enough, Keyshawn. I have not seen enough to just grant you the golden pass to Debo Dev when we hadn't seen what Debo Dev did from division to division to division to division. 3 of them, that is, unheld titles in each different division that he stepped into. The lightweight division, that be the 140-pound division, and now the welterweight division, the youngest undisputed champion in boxing history, Debo Dev. Now, those accolades, that's right there. That says, the best of this era. That says, taking on all contenders, handling business in each division. That's something that I will grant Debo Dev if he happens to jump up to 154 pounds and challenge the winner out of Xander Zayas or Jerron Boots Ennis. Debo Dev, you got that. You earned that. Keyshawn, you got to get in line, champ. And then who's in line with you If you haven't been noticing or paying attention, you got Brian Norman Jr., who was the champion previously to losing it in, a devastating fashion to Debo Dev. It was a great fight. Learning that, there's levels to this. Brian Norman Jr., him and his dad, being, what I say, humbled in the properest way. In the properest way possible. Yes, humbled in the properest way possible. Yeah, try to say that 3-4 times fast. Yeah. Now, with that being said, Brian Norman Jr. falling in the rankings, now 5th in the WBO rankings. I believe a little harsh comparison to who's ranked in front of him. Now we got to get to this list, man. What is the WBO smoking? Listen, this proves, bruh. This proves it. This is why a lot of fighters is going to Jake Paul route. This is why Terrence Bud Crawford decided what's the purpose of paying these sanctioning bodies any additional money when you, first of all, you don't know where it's going to go, and secondly, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get what you said to what you're deserving in the sport of boxing. Doing so, we've seen the greatest of this era, Terrence Bud Crawford, literally for half of his career being stalled out, people trying to make sure he didn't get opportunities. And this man was undisputed in 3 different divisions, held titles in 5, and paid sanctioning body fees in each one of them, and still had to wait for the Earl Spence at 147 pounds. Still had to wait to get the opportunities against Kell Brooks and Sean Porter's, everyone that was decided to be on one side of the political side of boxing. Now we see these current political games being played right before our eyes when we look at the WBO and see a legend, no doubt about it, one of the greatest of his era, no doubt about it, Manny Pacquiao, ranked 2nd in the WBO, behind the mandatory and Keyshawn Davis, who I just explained did nothing to earn the mandatory spot at 147 pounds. And you mean to tell me the previous champion in Brian Norman Jr., who was not just the WBO champion, but also the Ring Magazine champion at that as well, the champion at 147 pounds, doesn't get a proper rematch? That's not on the table. He falls behind a Manny Pacquiao, a Teofimo Lopez, who's 3rd in the division. And well, I don't even know who 4th in it. We just know Brian Norman was just recently the champion, and it was a good fight between Devin and Brian. It wasn't no slaughter. It wasn't no wash. I mean, it was a clear winner. But Brian Norman was in the fight, even after the, vicious knockdown that took place early in the bout. The man deserved a lot more than to be ranked 5th, and then not to even be put in a title eliminator bout to be possibly get his get back in a rematch with Debo Dev, who I believe is the most deserving in the current division that Debo Dev holds the title. These sanctioning bodies, these rankings, something has to be done with this. Now, this is the sport of boxing. It ain't nothing that's going to be done with this. I'm just talking hypothetical. I'm wishing upon a star. But this right here is disgusting. This is why Zuffa, this is why Turkey Al-Sheikh, Dana White is making a major play in boxing right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and switch gears, man, because I got a little bit of audio for y'all, man. I want to shout out to MMA and Boxing Addict who gonna give us this audio, man. Appreciate his hard work. But this is gonna explain a lot more about how we getting here and why I feel that Keyshawn needs to go ahead and answer the call. Let's get to it. Hold on 1 second. Let's get to it. Game time.
It's funny how he's saying this now, but plenty of times when they say, "Would you fight Brian Noble Jr.?" He kept saying no. You do it for a title in that. The way he would do it is, of course, if he had.
Hey, my question is why not? Why not? Why is we getting those? Why are we getting? I'm the A side. It ain't a big enough fight. You got 15 fights, sir. And based upon your track record, you is in no position to bargain here, champ. You got to take the opportunities that present themselves. And even if they're not there, you got to create them based upon what you do to make yourself known and stand out in these divisions, man. A lot of these dudes, man, they just waiting for a handout. This young generation, bro, is too catered to. They want to wait. They want to wait. Fight once a year. Wait 5-6 years to fight the fight that may or may not never happen. Look at Xander Zayas, a pure example of making an opportunity for yourself, putting your skills on display, letting us, the fans, know what you really about, and the ones, the hierarchies, the suits, know who the real dog is in these divisions by eliminating whoever is in these divisions, title holders, mandatories, or guys with just big names that got a big fandom behind them. The Ryan Garcias who, stick around for whatever reason. But I digress. Ryan Norman, how you feeling about this, champ?
Pretty much. So now, of course, I'm quiet, man. I don't do nothing until I do my interviews or something. So of course, he gonna go on the internet and try to go slap crazy or whatever. But just follow his card. I had the best fight on his card, and he said,
Wow. I was with you, champ. Everything you said before that, Brian Norman Jr., I was with you. But that's not lie. Now, I know you got to make it sound good, but, bruh, that wasn't no damn fight you was in, Brian. What was that? That man came in there and took a dive. What is you talking about? You had the best fight. That was the worst display of boxing that we, not on your part, but that was the worst match on the card. We didn't get no action. We didn't even see you really get tested. You still got to get tested, bro. Like, and I believe the test of Keyshawn, but yeah, man, that fight. Did this man fight? That man said fight. The best fight. Continue.
He been knocked out. I'm going to score the knockdown on his card. So it says it right there. Here to handle business. I ain't here to do the internet talking. So he can have all that kind of stuff. I'm here to do the real business. The business thing.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Instagram live and he was kind of crashing out.
Then that's what I'm talking about. Are we about business, Keyshawn? Are we about business, Keyshawn? We're not handling business outside the ring, champ. I ain't gonna get all into what's going on, but boxing fans know, your fans know more than anybody. You're not handling business, bruh. Even in your last bout, you lost focus for a second. Now you channeled it, you refocused, and you was able to, get a hold of that fight, keep the boy in line, and let him know that there's levels to this. But we cannot ignore the fact that, bro, you off the hinges. You off the hinges, bro. And you got a little mile, a little mile, let's say a few road ahead to kind of realign yourself to get back on track. But it's all up to you, bro, and where you're steering and where you're going. And getting rid of Bomac, Team Crawford, leaving, that camp, what I would call, your safe haven at that point. Because, I mean, we seen the best Keyshawn coming out of that camp. When you were at your highest heights and you had the ball really rolling and you were upscaling even Shakur Stevens in the same stable as you. You let all of that fall through your fingertips by, like I said, being unhinged, thinking emotionally, thinking selfishly, and really taking boxing, as a game and not taking it serious. And it shows even currently to this day. But I believe this is due to a little bit of enabling. Yeah. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. Listen, Jay Prince, you came up in the scene, bro, out of nowhere. You signed Keyshawn Davis, from Top Rank. You become the manager, you become the face. Bob is not, running the show. And suddenly, when Debo Dev and Shakur Stevenson have one of the biggest contracts put on the table, this is being given by Zuffa Boxing and Dana White and Turkey Al-Rashid. If Shakur signed the contract and wanted to come to 147 pounds, which now we know Debo Dev is even making a compromise to go down to 144 pounds, which we know you said yourself, Jay Prince, that you was willing to make that fight happen if Debo Dev was willing to meet y'all where y'all wanted to be met, which I don't believe he should get you a damn thing. You ain't earned nothing. Who is Shakur at 147 pounds? I digress. But the same thing for Keyshawn Davis. Who is Keyshawn Davis at 147 pounds? I'll wait. Has he fought Timo? No. Shakur did, but not at 147 pounds. And then right after he beat Teofimo Lopez, which we already knew, Timo, damaged goods, kick the can with him. He's nobody. Nobody. That man is a clown. And I can say a few more things about him, but I'm going to keep it PG. You feel me? For the kids out there. Now, without me losing track, who is these dudes to be making demands for a title holder? Really, Ring Magazine, the lineal, you know what I mean, champion, and Debo Devin Haney. You dudes is coming for the belt. You ain't even made no noise in the division. You ain't knocked off number 2, number 3, or even number 4, Keyshawn. You got to see Brian Norman Jr., bro. I don't want to hear what nobody say. Listen, yeah, I said it earlier. I'm a Keyshawn fan, but I'm a boxing fan first. We ain't sugarcoating nothing over here for you tank boys. That's what I'm gonna call you. You timid tank boys. Cause y'all sensitive, man, and y'all sweet like sugar. Yes, she is. I know it. You moist right now because what I said, you all in your fantasy tight, and I get it. That's because you have a problem. You can't separate the sport from the man. But that's no problem here on Active Sports TV. You best believe that. Sport first. And I want to see the integrity of the sport be held to the highest standard. The legends have put the blueprint down. The Sugar Ray Leonards, the Robinsons, the James Tonys, the Roy Jones Jr.'s. Everybody had to earn it, man. We not about to sit here and enable these dudes. Jay Prince, just because you scared, man, that these dudes gonna get knocked off by Debo Dev, just let's go ahead and say it. You need everything in your favor because Debo Dev, you're terrified of him. Just like with Virgil Ortiz and the Jerron Boots in this situation. We know Oscar De La Hoya terrified. He don't want his golden goose to be severed. No, he don't want that. Straight slaughter. He don't want that. No, he don't want that. So they playing the waiting game. And they hoping that they can purchase their way up the rankings. And when someone happens to fall off, when they have to take the tough bout and step up in competition, or, happen to just, age is undefeated, man. Happen to get too old and just not themselves. That's when these dudes plan to strike. We have seen Jerron Boots Ennis do it for the last 5 years. Yeah, all of that. I wanted to move up, and I wanted to be, undisputed at 147 pounds. That man never wanted no smoke with Terrence Bud Crawford as soon as he knew he was in the division. His daddy didn't want to skip over there, go over there and risk it all and fight. But no, they said, we licking our chop. We're going to let Earl Spence do the work. Let him knock off all of these dudes that's supposedly, our biggest threats. And when, our hype is at its highest, we're going to use that to catapult ourselves to an undisputed unification bout with Earl Spence Jr. They was praying for it. They were so hurt when Earl got destroyed. The plan was destroyed, blown up. TNT. Yeah, it was crazy. And this is now the blueprint. This is what's taking place now in boxing. Keyshawn Davis, well, it ain't no, hypothetically or anything. This man is the mandatory to Debo Dev. How? We gotta scratch our heads. But we've seen this in the sport of boxing many and many times. Jay Prince, we see you, bro. We see you. Yeah. And you making Keyshawn Davis a sacrificial lamb. Yeah, but you just want to try to get the most out of your investment. That's what I see. You know Brian Norman Jr. is a dog. It's potentially, the plans are being destroyed, just like, plans have been destroyed for you in the past. But you can never recreate another Floyd Mayweather. And the things that's taking place in Shakur Stevenson's career is similar to why you and Pretty Boy Floyd fell out way back then. The man got some damage control to do, him and Keyshawn, following this blueprint. But that's where I'm gonna leave it there, man. It's your boy Active, man. Before y'all get up out of here, man, if you haven't done it already, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, answer that question for me on the way out, man. Beat the comments up, man. Let it be known how you feeling, man, about Keyshawn Davis skipping the line, Brian Norman Jr., letting it be known this man been ducking. He been asking for the fight. He's been trying to step away from it. How you feel? Let it be known. This your boy Active telling you stay activated all the time, and we'll be back.